Good evening. Welcome to Your Turn with Turner. My special guest this evening is filmmaker Paul Abramson. He is currently working and producing a video entitled How to Fail in the Movie Business. Now, Paul, what made you choose this very provocative title and subject?
Thank you, Ray. As a filmmaker who is riding the roller coaster known as the movie business, I'm experiencing many of its ups and downs and wild turns. A roller coaster, as you may already know, is a railroad that has no destination. You get on with good intentions, you get on feeling really exhilarated. When you're taking the ride, you just want to get off. But you end with that same exhilaration. Those who want to ride the roller coaster will ride it. Those who don't shouldn't. But we must all remember there is a long line of passengers waiting to get on. There are numerous books on the market about how to watch a movie, how to interpret a movie, how to write for a movie. But I even see the topic of how to get your foot into the proverbial door. They tell you what to do. I wanted to examine what not to do. As far as failing is concerned, there is only one true way to fail at just about anything.
Do film schools adequately prepare the neophyte filmmaker to be successful in the business?
Success. Well, Ray, that is up to the individual. I wouldn't call myself Mr. Successful, but I'd also wouldn't call myself Mr. Failure. I began my formal training at a community college before spending a few years working as a production assistant or a grip on numerous low-paying, no-paying, low-budget, no-budget film shoots. That's an excellent way to learn how to make the movie. That's where the learning begins. But that's not where the money is. Sooner or later, life's little expenses will get in the way. That's why I recommend to any film student, while you are in school, apply for an internship. The major studios are all very, very receptive to internships. And why not? They're getting something for nothing. But you got to be very careful when you are applying for an internship. There are many people out there in the business, many so-called producers who misuse the word intern. You're basically going to work your till you are practically dead for little or no pay at all. And that's fine if you do have a nest egg or some other source of income. At the time that I resumed my formal training, I received a Bachelor of Arts degree at the same time that I was working full-time for a very well-established company called the William Morris Agency. You may already know that that is the oldest and most respected talent agency in the business. I was working there during the day, learning the business side of the ride, and at night I was going to school and learning how to make the ride. Learning is one of the most important things. This is an ever-growing business. Constantly study your craft. Always be open to new learning experiences.
I've heard that the best way to get a stepping stone into the business is to write a script. What are some of the pitfalls to avoid when you do write a script?
Ray, I would recommend to anybody, don't be writing just one script. Always have a back pocket project handy, especially when you are in one of those spur-of-the-moment pitch meetings. You know the type, sometimes called the elevator meeting. You find yourself in an elevator with a Hollywood big shot. You have until those doors open and that person gets out to sell your movie. A writer of screenplays should also be very much informed, should also know the difference between writing a novel, between writing a stage play, or a screenplay. A novel is a story that's told with words, a stage play is a story told with dialogue, and a screenplay is a story told with pictures. The reader of your screenplay should be able to visualize in his or her mind the movie you are trying to present to them. If they can't, then that screenplay has failed. And not only has that screenplay failed, you didn't do your job. Also, very important when you are writing a screenplay, this might sound trivial to a lot of our viewing audience, but you should know the correct way to format your screenplay. You should know exactly where to put the tabs. You should know where the character names should go. You should know exactly the standardized version, the standardized placement of the dialogue, and very important, the correct font to use, which is Courier 12. That's because that is the font that closely resembles that of an old typewriter. If your screenplay doesn't look like it could have been written on a Blickensderfer or a Crown Royale, then it's probably not going to be read. But don't quit writing. Sooner or later, something is going to click.
Paul, do you believe, like the glass ceiling that has kept anyone from rising to executive and CEO positions, that there is a celluloid ceiling that is so hard for neophyte filmmakers to be able to break into?
Ray, I did in the past, but I am seeing that that is changing. As our audiences grow and our audiences change, the doors open to anyone who is willing and able to turn the key. We must remember that the movie business is just that. It's a business first and art second. Many people will disagree with that. Hollywood wants to make the movies that people want to pay money to see. They would all love to make the art films. That is, if the audience is there, if the market is there. As far as the glass ceiling, I believe that there is a niche for everything. You must know your niche, learn your market, know your market, and be persistent. Because if you quit trying, you will surely fail.
Well, I see that I'm being motioned that our time is just about up, Paul. I want to thank you very much for this interview, for taking your turn.
Thank you, Ray.